Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday afternoon, and this is the introductory video to Module 5. So when we look at our bullseye that we started looking at the beginning of this class, we are at the almost to the outer rims of this graphic organizer. Semantics, according to this graphic, says that it is the literal meaning of phrases and sentences. Semantics can be fun. There's a lot of games out there, and I think we should play one now. So, the homophones, obviously words that sound the same, spelled differently, have different meanings. And so if we had to pick a homophone to complete this sentence, to make sure that the sentence makes sense, the restaurant is by the lake. You would need to decide whether it's B-U-Y or B-Y. And if you chose B-Y, you are correct. You just earned 1 point. Here's another one. We'll drive through planes on our trip. Another homophone pair. And if you are thinking that planes, P-L-A-I-N-S, is correct, you are right. You now have 2 points. And last but not least, the horse's mane is so shiny. Which homophone makes that sentence make sense? And if you chose mane, M-A-N-E, you are correct. You have earned 3 points. Good job. This is a game. There's many of them out there. This one comes from education.com, and they are a fun way to teach these kinds of semantic concepts. Semantics can save a man from a hamburger. So now we know that semantics can be funny as well. In the readings, there is a link to an article that discusses semantics, in the definition of semantics briefly. And within that article, it talks about conceptual meanings, and it uses this as an example. It's a nice connection to our work with syntax. So in the following sentence, the hamburger ate the man, syntactically this is an acceptable sentence for the English language. We've got the noun phrase, we've got the verb, and the noun phrase. However, semantically it is incorrect. It's a nonsense sentence because the conceptual meaning of hamburger does not fit the meaning of that sentence. So in semantics, we focus on the conceptual meaning of words. Semantics can be confusing. Here is a list of some of the vocabulary that appears in the West chapter that you're reading for this module. Certainly the expectation is not that you memorize the definitions of all these words, but it is a good list of words to have a general idea about what they mean. And if those word lists didn't overwhelm you, these two graphic organizers probably will. However, if you give them a minute and get the general gist of how these organizers and charts are organized, they do a pretty nice job of helping you make connections between similarities and differences between some of those vocabulary words we get from West. Semantics can be infuriating, especially for our ELL learners and our struggling readers. 2 examples, idioms and metaphors. These are 2 types of figurative language that we really need to give our students some extra support on because they, especially our ELL and struggling readers, struggling comprehenders, because these really these really confuse them as far as their meaning. So what is semantics? Quick definition, short definition, the study of meaning that can be determined from a sentence, phrase, or word. Semantics is an attempt for people to describe and understand the nature of the knowledge about meaning in their language. Outcomes for Module 5. The first one, demonstrate a working knowledge of semantics. 2, be able to identify the importance of semantics in ELL and bilingual classrooms. And number 3, be able to create engaging materials that help students identify meaning and multiple meanings attached to words. So our readings for Module 5 are Chapter 5 in the West book. There's a graduate article, What You Hear and What You Say, Language Performance in English, Spanish-English Bilinguals. The short summary of what semantics is was the article I referred to when I was talking about the hamburger sentence. There's a PowerPoint, and then there's some videos to watch. Module 5 assignments. The discussion, there are 2 to choose from. What impact does semantics have on the reading or ELL classroom? And we have already talked about that a little bit when we talk about idioms and metaphors. And how would you present words with multiple meanings to struggling readers or ELL students? Don't forget APA in-text citations and or a reference list. The assignment, there are 3 to choose from. And again, if you could cite your sources and refer to the readings within your response, that would be great. And then the last everybody assignment, the Module 5 self-evaluation quiz, and then the journal entry. And in this module, they also do just a little reminder assignment about the portfolio, which is due next week, the end of the class. Reading highlights, Chapter 5 is basically just introducing, reviewing semantics. They do a little interesting concept called semantic pockets, which is West's way of describing how our brain categorizes words into meaningful chunks and discusses how many of these semantic pockets our brain can hold. The Module 5 due dates will be Wednesday for the discussion, Thursday for the 2 peer responses, the assignment, the quiz, and the journal entry. Module 4 due dates are discussion. The discussion was due yesterday on Sunday. The 2 peer responses, the assignment, the quiz, and the journal entry are due today. Graduate students, the Module 3-5 assignment that is due Sunday, June 23rd. There's been a couple questions about that, and you will submit that under Module 3. Just an FYI, I will be off the GVU grid this weekend, Thursday, June 20th through Sunday, June 23rd. I will probably be working on the class Thursday morning and then again Sunday afternoon. But Thursday afternoon, Friday, and Saturday, I probably will not be available much for emails or questions. This brings us to the end of our introduction to Module 5. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please continue to send emails with questions, and I will continue to try to respond to them quickly. And I hope you enjoy learning a little bit more about semantics.